Hi there, and welcome to the Multiply You podcast, where we showcase top experts in their space and reveal all the secrets you need to know to multiply you.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Austin Clark here, host of the Multiply You podcast. Really excited to be at this again today, and I've got a wonderful guest that will share with us some of his insights, tips, tricks, if you will, as it relates to starting a brand new pest control business, which Christian has done in the last couple of years, social media, some hacks as it relates to what works, what doesn't work, and then something that he says is a rookie mistake as it relates to maybe, I don't want to say stealing, but borrowing images or, copyrighted material, and how to go about doing that in a way that won't have you paying as much money or, as high fines. But in just a moment, I'll introduce him. This episode, as you all know, have been patched in for a while. It's sponsored and brought to you by my company, Moxie Pest Control. We have been very fortunate, just as Christian and his firm have, to be growing steadily at steady clips over the last decade. And that growth for us has really taken off in a hyper type mode, in a very aggressive way the last 3 or 4 years. And one of the reasons for that has been because we've been growing via acquisition. And so if any of you that are listening are out there own pest control companies, specifically in Phoenix, but also in Cincinnati and Columbus and Indiana, and really 2 or 3 dozen other places that we've got locations across the map, please give me a ring. I'd love to be able to talk to you. Valuations, as I've kind of said in these sponsorship messages the last several weeks, they're definitely coming down. They're coming down kind of quickly, but they're still very, very high. So I wouldn't say it's the top of the market, but it's very, very, very high and very strong. And I'm happy to share any insights with you as to what kind of causes that and makes that happen, and what buyers are looking for in a company to acquire, whether that's you looking to divest now, in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years, or whatever. You can call me or text me directly on my cell. It's 480-254-9730. Or you can email me directly at aclark@moxiepestcontrol.com. Christian Allan, he is here with us today. He is the owner of Tailor Made Pest Control. Hop onto their site, tailormadepestcontrol.com. I hopped on a little while ago. It's awesome. It's phenomenal. And it'll give you a lot of the backstory of how he got going and how he got started, which we'll talk about here too. He's been in the industry about a decade. He spent 8 years or so with a smaller company, learning the ins and outs of the industry, and really perfecting his craft. At that time, he decided that it was time for him to, I think your website says, stop busting your butt for somebody else and start busting your butt for yourself. I can relate to that. And set off and do it on your own. So started the company in October of 2021. So we're coming up on 2 years here this fall, and looking to have already hired their first technician, first admin, and are looking to double revenues year over year, which is fantastic. So Christian, thank you for being here. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm well. I'm better than I deserve, so I'm blessed. But it's thank you for having me on. I'm excited. This is going to be a great episode.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm sure it will be. I've already decided in my mind that it will. So tell us a little bit, Christian, about the backstory. You got into pest, graduated college. There's a lot of things that you've done that I think that have helped you kind of get to where you are today. But tell us a little bit about the experience that you had the first 8 years working in the industry and working for somebody else. What was that like? What did you learn? How did that go?
Yeah, so real quick, I didn't graduate from college. So I graduated from high school, but that's about the extent of my education. But I moved to Kentucky from New Hampshire. My dad knew the owner of the company before, and I was 21, no degree, but just looking to work. And so got into pest control as a job. And that's what it was for like the first two years or so. But then, as I, kept in it, I started to really become interested in pest control and the different techniques and everything, and learning biology and actually knowing the pest and the science behind the pest. So And so, from then on, it became, I started listening to podcasts. I watched different YouTube videos, subscribed to all the, PCT magazine, the PMP magazine. Also a member of ESA, the Entomological Society of America. And so just learning as much as I can about bugs, about the science, about the biology, and also about the different chemicals and tools and stuff to do the work for. And so, that's become my passion. I love helping people. I love being able to teach people. I thought I wanted to be a teacher, but dealing with kids doesn't seem like a lot of fun. But I did coach high school football for 5 years. So I think that has a lot to do with helping me educate customers and what their pest problem is and how we're going to remedy it and just educate it. I feel like an educated customer is a good customer to have. And so that's kind of where we are. I love tech. I love gadgets. And I love learning new ways to kill things. And so that's what keeps me going. And that's kind of what's become my passion per se.
What were Christian? So tell us the circumstances kind of leading up to you deciding that it was time for you. And I think it was you and your wife, at least initially, right? That kind of went out and did it. Why did you guys choose to do that? You had a good thing going. It was secure. It was secure, right? Tell us why that happened.
Yeah. So I've nothing but respect for the guy that I work for. I have tremendous utmost respect for him, and I'm very thankful. He gave me the opportunity and taught me a career instead of just having a job. But he's been in it for a long time. He's on the verge of being fully retired, and he just happy where he's at. The company has grown. It grows, grows a little bit every year. He's happy. His status quo is good. And he's happy with where the company's at. And for me, I don't necessarily need to be like working or Terminex, but I want to grow and I want to be able to offer opportunities to, at that time, my fellow coworkers and potential other employees that came on to keep them, to retain them, and give them more opportunities. So I wanted to grow the company. He's happy with where it's at, and so that's kind of where the differences became. I tell people there's a million ways to kill a roach, and there's a million ways to run a company. He has a loyal following. He's got happy customers that do a good job, and so that's his prerogative with his company. And so for me, I wasn't happy there. I wanted to do big things, and I wanted to do other stuff other than just being a technician for 50 years. And so my wife was like, you're unhappy. I think you can do this. Just do it. Kind of like the Nike slogan. Just do it. You might as well just do it.
I love that.
You fail. If you fail, then you go and work for somebody else. What's the worst that can happen? And so, my buddy, James Shields, he owns Derby City Poops Coop, but he and I worked together in pest control for the same company before he started his own thing and left. And they're about to do $1 million this year in poops cooping. But he really pushed me in starting my own company. And I worked for him for 8 months full time before I went full time in my own business, pest control. And so he's really helped me be where I'm at today. And so I'm really thankful for that. But yeah, it just came all about growing. And, every day, everybody hates on the big company and bigger or large companies. And while I don't want to be like a major corporation, I want to be able to keep good people. And I don't want them to leave me because, we'll just say Moxie gave them a better opportunity. I'm sure you guys are a great company, but I'd hate to lose somebody good because I couldn't give them an opportunity that another company could, and that falls on my shoulders. And so it's something that if that's truly what I want, I have a good company culture, but then also opportunity for them to grow if they want to. But then I have to grow. Then the company has to grow. And so that's why I want the company to grow, not because I'm looking to line my pockets, but because I want to help other people along their journey and progress through their careers in pest control. And if it ends up being that they want to start their own company, then I'm all for helping them start their own company. And as long as they don't steal my customers, that's fine. Go start your own. And I want to continue a friendship. So.
Sure. Well, tell us a little bit then. I mean, I know that you're passionate and attribute a lot of your success as far as growth goes to social media, being active on Facebook. You even said Twitter, TikTok. What are some of your thoughts or ideas as it relates to that? What's gone well? What's not gone so well?
Yeah, so I'm a big Facebook user. So I'm on Facebook constantly. But what helped me starting out was I wrote a bio like you read on my website and pretty much copy and pasted it onto my wall. And then I shared it in like 78 different groups. I said, hey, if this is not allowed, please delete or take down. But I'm a new company just started up. Here's a little bit about me. Would love to be a help to anybody. And so we shared that everywhere. And then I just started posting 4 times a day on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Nextdoor, anywhere that I could post, even on Google My Business. I'm posting every day. And I think that helped put things, I think it's helped me rank a little bit on Google because there's a lot of information about it. And it was, a lot of it was funny stuff. So I'd find memes on social media, I'd copy it, share it, and so at least you see my name every day. Even if it wasn't bug related, I post it. And I don't sell on Facebook. I make a few advertisements here or there, like, oh, we got this sale going on, we got that sale going on. But mainly it's about, taking pictures of the work that we do and just saying something about a bug. Or I was writing blogs about different bugs and DIY tips on how to take care of your mice. Here's 5 ways to prevent mice from getting into your home. And so I did little things like that. And I've even started 3 to 5 different DIY groups to help homeowners take care of their own bugs. And the way I look at it is 80% of the market are DIYers. So we're all fighting for 20%. And if I make myself the expert in the Louisville market, then people are going to call me first when they have a pest problem that they can't solve. So I'm willing to give all of my information away, and just to give my name out, and that seems to work really, really well for me. As far as what does,
I do think too, the Christian, like that is a good approach. One, because it establishes you as the authority, but I know a lot of people want to, and I'm not saying that there's not like intellectual property or trade secrets or whatever, but most of anything you want to learn about anything, any industry, any marketing technique, it's all out there, right? It's on YouTube, it's on Google, it's free. It's free. And so if everyone's kind of giving most of all of it away for free anyway, then you can do that too and tie your name or your brand to the content. And then, like you said, when that does become a need for that, you've been nurturing them all along. And because they like you, trust you, know you, are familiar with you, then it's really an easy next step for them to do business with you. And I like what you said, when they come upon a problem that they're unable to solve or unwilling to solve, they say, hey, let's just go to the guy that's been giving me so much value for free anyway.
Yeah, that's been, Nextdoor has been huge for me. I just do the same thing. I got a business page and a personal page, and I've been getting a lot of business from houses right around my house. I love it. That's awesome. That's building route density. And it's just, no advertisement on Nextdoor. It's all about, this is what we do, or this is a problem that we run across, and this is how we solved it, or this is how you can solve it. And people reaching out almost every day. It's taken months for me to get, I think, the traction where I'm at. But I haven't been as active on social media recently just because I've been busy. But even with that, still, I'm reaping the fruits of the labor from before, and it's going really well.
Phenomenal. It's kind of a funny story, or hopefully it's funny for you now, but tell us a little bit about the copyright issue that you had and like what was the lesson learned there?
Yeah, so it just happened. So it's everything's funny to me, I think, good or bad. But yeah, when I first started out, I was working on my website. I built it on Weebly, I think, or Square. And so, I built my own website. I did everything pretty much by myself. And so, putting services up that we did, I just Googled bugs, stink bugs. Stink bugs were what got me on this one. So I just Googled like stink bugs, took a picture of it from Google and put it on my website. Didn't really think too much of it. I knew there's copyright issues before out there, but I was like, I'm just starting out, don't have a lot of pictures and everything. So I just took or stole or borrowed pictures from Google, since there's free right there for me to take and put it on the website. Well, Pick Rights or something, somebody reached out on behalf of the person that of Associated Press, and they're people that own the picture. And said it was copyrighted and we infringed on their copyright, and so they asked for, I think it was $970 for the fee for like a fee or whatever for the infringement on their rights. And so I talked to a lawyer, and they're like, it's not a lawsuit, but that's not a lot for an infringement on a copyright photo. So, you're able to negotiate back and forth with them. So there's no harm, no foul, just asking to take less. And so I did, we talked, and, they lowered it down to me. So I paid $500 today or yesterday, and we got it resolved and settled. So lesson learned, $500 is a lot, for me that just started, less than 2 years ago. But, it's lesson learned. We've taken down any photos that I haven't taken and put new ones up, either from the NPMA or pictures I've taken. And, so we won't do it again. Well, I'll try not to.
Like you said, lesson learned.
Yeah, for sure. And, that's the biggest thing. So, I was telling you, I'm an open book. So all this stuff is out there for anybody to learn from my mistake. I'm hard-headed. A lot of people have given me a lot of different advice. And, at first I'm like, oh, well, I don't need to worry about that. And then later on, I'm like, oh, shit, maybe I should have listened. So.
Would have saved $500. What, Christian, would you say has been like the proudest moment since you've opened your shop? What's been a real high point in the evolution or first couple of years of your company?
So a couple things. One, I've won the next door favorite as in pest control, so that was great. And then last year and this year, I've won the Louisville award for best in pest control. So last year and then this year, I guess they inducted me into their Business Hall of Fame. So that's been the biggest highlights for me. And then also being able to provide, an income for two other people. I got an admin person and a tech that relies on me so they can make a living.
It's a big responsibility.
Huge responsibility. Some days I wonder what I'm doing, but so far so good.
Have there been any? I know that there's people, but have there been any people or books or podcasts you've subscribed to a lot of different things. Well, yeah. What are some of the things that have been very either like influential or helpful in your journey as an entrepreneur, in the pest control space?
Yeah. So I tell people I'm super blessed, and, I know a lot of people say that, but I truly mean it. Not many people get to see somebody firsthand build a business from $0. And I've seen my friend, James Shields, build Derby City Poops Group from $0 to this year he's going to do $1 million in less than 7 years. And so I've seen the struggles. I've seen him work 3 jobs. I've seen him make mistakes. I've seen what's worked for him, what hasn't worked for him. And I've been able to model my business from what he has done and make it my own and build, I think a decently successful business within 2 years. And so I contribute a lot to him. We share the same office. We, help each other out. So I've been very blessed with the friendship with him. But then, I've listened to my favorite book that I listen to anytime I'm down or depressed. It's a 10X Rule from Grant Cardone. And, pretty much multiply everything by 10. How much money you need, the energy you need, the effort you need, everything you need to multiply by 10. Your goals need to be multiplied by 10. And it's really, given me permission per se to be obsessed and ambitious like I am, and not to be apologetic about it. And then I've had a lot of people within the pest control industry that's mentored me. I've had Seth Garber from Pest Daily, the Pest Posse, Foster and Cully out in California, Paul Bello down in Georgia, and Pete LaCoya in Georgia, the Sorrentinos with the Pest Pros in Michigan has been helpful. I'm sure there's other people. Pete Chopin. I can't forget him. Pete Chopin. He's mentoring me from Chicago. So I've had a lot of people that has reached out to me and given me advice, solicited or unsolicited advice on different things. A lot of advice on a lot of things on how to grow a company, how they did it, struggles they had, things that they see that I'm doing that's good, things that they see that I'm doing that's bad. And I may have not listened to a lot of it, and some things I'm like, should have listened to it. But just being able to have like moral support from people from all over the country, just, being like cheerleaders for me and say, hey, keep it up, you're doing good, and all that stuff. So that has been, being an owner of a company is lonely. I say 90% of people don't understand the struggles of an entrepreneur and the costs and everything associated with running a business. And, I talk to my wife about it, talk to my family about it and friends, but, they really don't understand the stress, the struggles that I think, you and I and everybody else that own a business goes through. And so being able to talk to millionaires and people that's been where I'm at and built their business has just been, has been really beneficial to me.
So, Christian, as we start to round this out, I want to give you the parting words, but what advice would you have for those that may be sitting in a truck right now, looking to kind of take the leap that you did about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, or that have just started their business recently that might be either struggling or not knowing kind of what the next move is or what to do? What is some of the advice that you might have for them?
My biggest advice is just do it. I've contemplated, my buddy James was telling me for about 3 years, maybe 4 or 5 years to start my own company. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to put all the work in, or I don't have the money for that. Or I made a million excuses to why I shouldn't do it. And then I just did it. I had $2,000 in the savings account. So I just did it. I left my company. I left the company I worked for before I even had all the licenses and stuff ready to start my own company. So it took 2 months for me to actually start my business from when I actually left. So I did it, probably the complete backwards way of how to start a company. But we're making it work. And, I make a mistake every day, at least one, probably like 5, maybe 10, 15, 100 mistakes a day. But as long as I'm learning from the mistakes that I make and, moving forward with it, then that's all you can do, and don't dwell on mistakes. I've lost a couple customers because of whatever reason, financial reasons that they've come on, people weren't happy with service or whatever the case may be. And I have a friend that just started his own company. He lost his first customer and he's super upset about it. I like to just move on. You lose him, go get another five.
Customers come and customers go, and employees come and employees go, and vendors come and vendors go.
Yeah, you can't take it personal. Everything becomes personal. I had, before the tech I have now, I had another tech work for me, and he was a good friend of mine. But it didn't work out, and then he wants to say, oh, it's my fault, or I'm doing this or doing that. It's like, dude, this is the reason why it didn't work out. And you can't. Once you become a business, you're not a person anymore. You're a thing, and people will try to take advantage of you any way they can. And you just gotta be level-headed, treat people the way you want to be treated, but don't be a rug for people to walk on.
Yeah, because sometimes that happens. Well, yeah. Christian, thank you so much for being on. Thank you for your time. Thank you for spending it, a few minutes of your morning with me and my audience. Thank you to all of you that are tuned in and patched in each and every week. These drop every week. And we've got more great guests. I think these things drop every Thursday. So click subscribe, do all the stuff that you do. And until the next one, create a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Multiply You podcast. You'll see us again soon when you subscribe for future episodes.